You are listening to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark.
Well, hello everybody. I am the Reverend Mark Adams from St Margaret's Church, Barking.
And I am the Reverend Jenny Adams from Holy Trinity, Prince Consort Road, South Kensington.
And
Welcome.
this is In Conversation with Jenny and Mark.
It is.
That's what we're doing, isn't it, Jenny? That's what we're doing.
It
Yeah.
is. I have coffee at the ready.
Yeah,
We are
we've got
going to
coffee.
talk about this Sunday's Bible.
We're ready to talk about the apocalypse.
The end of the
Yes,
world.
the apocalypse. Yes,
Let's
so this
read
Sunday's
it
Bible
then,
reading,
shall we?
we're
Let's do it.
we're getting into the whole pre-Advent time. Yeah, the Sundays before Advent. So this is where we get into these kind of passages towards the end of the Gospels generally. So, Jenny, you're going to read it? We're reading from verse 5 to 19, I believe.
Okay, Luke 21, yes, 5 to
Yes,
19.
there it is.
When some were speaking about the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and gifts dedicated to God, he said, "As for these things that you see, the days will come when not one stone will be left upon another, all will be thrown down." They asked him, "Teacher, when will this be, and what will be the sign that this is about to take place?" And he said, "Beware that you are not led astray, for many will come in my name and say, 'I am he,' and the time is near. Do not go after them. When you hear of wars and insurrections, do not be terrified, for these things must take place first, but the end will not follow immediately." Then he said to them, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against king. No, and kingdom against kingdom. There'll be great earthquakes, and in various places famines and plagues, and there'll be dreadful portents and great signs from heaven. But before all this occurs, they will arrest you and persecute you. They will hand you over to synagogues and prisons, and you'll be brought before kings and governors because of my name. This will give you an opportunity to testify. So make up your minds not to prepare your defense in advance, but I will give you words and a wisdom that none of your opponents will be able to withstand or contradict. You'll be betrayed even by parents and brothers, by relatives and friends, and they'll put some of you to death. You'll be hated by all because of my name, but not a hair of your head will perish. By your endurance, you will gain your souls.
Oh, thank you. Well, cheery.
So then, I have news. I think it's happening. It's happening now. And you know why?
Why?
Because about 3 weeks ago, mid-sermon, somebody entered my church with a massive great poster, which I couldn't read, it was too detailed, and came all the way up the aisle shouting that he was the light and he had come. So, I mean, I've heard it. I've heard the
Did
sign.
you stop the service and say, "Excellent, welcome. We're pleased to welcome you here, the light"? And
Something
oh,
like that.
well, I'm
Not
glad to know
quite.
that. I mean, I missed it personally, but obviously, I'd have thought we would have noticed, really. But anyway, maybe it was just a South Kensington thing.
Well, I mean, the people in my church noticed.
I mean, I guess it's. I don't know about you, but when you, what am I going to say? It's when you turn up these passages, you think, "Oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with
What
this?
am I going to say?
What am I going to say? What do you?"
Um,
But is that your reaction?
well, it's not this week because I'm not preaching.
Okay, well, that's helpful. If you were preaching, would that be your reaction?
It is normally my reaction. Not
Yeah.
least because I have kind of one sermon on it, but it comes round every year, and I
A
always feel there's
little bit
only a
like
certain
Christmas.
amount you can say.
I mean, I guess fall into two camps within the church, don't we, all Christians, know, that we either love these passages, live all our time in them, this is our meat and drink, or
Yeah.
we kind of ignore them, pretend they're not there. The lectionary throws them up once a year, and we think, "Oh, I better engage with them then, I suppose, because the lectionary's telling me to." Do you think that's fair?
Kind of. So I think that's fair if you are a preacher.
Yeah.
Because as preachers we have to find something to say about it. And it's one of those
Right.
passages that I don't know that there doesn't seem to be an awful lot to say about it. But on a personal level, I actually like the rhythm of the church year and how this comes round ready before Christ the King. So it completes the year, Christ the King, he's coming back, and then we start again in Advent. And I really like
And
that
what happens if
rhythm
you're not a
of
preacher?
when lives.
What happens if you're not a preacher?
Pardon?
What happens if you're not a preacher and you're engaging this? That sort
Well,
of
I think
dichotomy in a sense
that's what
starts.
I'm saying. I think I quite like the rhythm. I'm not sure that I would see it in the same way. I think that, oh my word, what is
Right.
that? Is because we're trying to find something to say about it. I think as a passage and as the rhythm of the lectionary, I really love it. And I love the fact that we're reminded that, there will be an end, that Jesus is going to return, because I think sometimes we do gloss
Yeah.
over that, those of us who aren't living in it all the time.
I mean, I
I think
suppose it's like,
we
I mean,
we
I'm being
spend a
honest
lot of
about
time saying
my
Jesus is
reaction.
lovely
Why,
and we should
why?
be nice. Mm.
Yes. I guess
But
I mean, I'm just wondering, even as I'm slightly talking against myself, really, but why do I have the reaction? Why do maybe some other people listening have that reaction when we see this? Is that because essentially
Mm.
I actually live quite a comfortable life and I don't really want it to be upended? But if you are not living a comfortable life and you are crying out for justice, then you're desperate for the Lord to kind of intervene and say, yeah, this is going to come to an end.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I have definitely said this before that there have been moments where, like, somebody is shouting at me, and I've prayed, well, Lord, now would be a good time to come back. Now would be a great time to just kind of do it. You
I
know,
mean,
uh,
yeah. I guess the other
I,
interesting thing is, go on,
yeah,
sorry,
go
yeah.
on.
Well, I was going to say the other interesting thing is that this kind of ideas of wars and rumors of wars. I mean, we're kind of seen to be in another one of those cycles in history, which sort of seem to move over decades, where we're back
I think
into
we are living in end times. I just don't think end times are very short.
right. Well, yeah, okay,
I think you can look at that and you can say we are living in end times.
yes,
Um, but I don't think end times is necessarily 10 years. Um,
yes, okay. So it could happen
and
today. It
you
could
could
be.
also say that end times are between Jesus's resurrection and his coming again, and they're
Well,
all
that's
end
what I
times.
think in one sense. I think that is what I think. I think that is,
Yeah. Yeah, we are living. I am. I mean, I'm excited for his return. But yeah, I think it would be.
I mean, we're supposed to be excited for his return, aren't
I
we?
am excited. I think. Um, yeah, it'll be amazing.
It goes with all this other. I guess the difficulty is that it has become associated with, well, I don't know,
Well, the
prank
people that come into church meetings
people
and
that come
decide
into
that.
church and say I am the light, and so and it's hard to, and you think, oh, I don't want to be that, I don't want to sound like that, you know.
No, but yes, and I think that's the danger, isn't it? Because then we seem to not ever mention Jesus' return, and I can see that a lot in funerals.
Mm,
I mean, admittedly, we don't know what happens after death, do we? But
mm.
we are supposed to rest in peace and rise
Yes,
in glory. And we
yes,
often miss out the resting in peace.
yes, yes,
In our, yeah, well, what we say as well. I mean, we don't tend to kind of go, we're resting in peace until the Jesus's return.
yes, yes.
Now, one of the reasons I don't hammer that home is because actually we don't know that time is linear, and it probably
No, that's
isn't.
right, that's
Um,
right.
But there is a tendency to miss that out and go straight
Yes,
to what is heaven like now? What does it look like?
yes, yes.
Um,
So I guess there's a kind of there is a comfort in this reading in the world that as we see it now, and I
mm,
think because I think one of the things that I was just briefly reading before we came on is that these passages, even in their own day, mix contemporary events with seeing what's going on behind the scenes, as it were, which of course is the idea of
Hmm.
apocalypse or revelation, that there's a revealing about what's really happening behind the events that we see. And wars and rumors of wars, well, that still hasn't stopped, has it? And I was sort of thinking, in fact, in one sense, it's getting, with all the stuff that goes around on social media, as we call it, actually rumors can, this idea of rumors spreading around the
Uh-huh.
world, is kind of accelerating again, isn't it? In people
And
can
I
make.
think, yeah, sorry, carry on. Just finish that
No, go on.
sentence.
What do you think? Yeah.
I was going to say, and if you take that and then you go right back to the very first bit where it was like, these beautiful stones that will all be cast down. The thing is, none of this matters. None of it matters compared to what is coming next.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
and it could be really terrible. There could be rumors. You could be all sorts of horrible things are going to happen to you. All those sort of things. None of it matters compared to the beauty of what's going to come next.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I like that.
No, that is exciting. You're right.
Yeah.
It is
I think even
exciting.
in my comfortable life, it's not always completely comfortable. I think
No,
that's still quite hopeful. Yeah.
no, no, that's right. Yeah. And I think, that it is a fascinating opening verse, isn't it? Look at this, you can see that they're all kind of like starstruck tourists coming to Jerusalem, and a bit like me might be going
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you could say
Well, when
Western
they walk
surrounding
into
world,
Holy Trinity, to be
but
honest.
yeah, or you could even say something like, going up the Empire State Building, or
Mm.
whatever. It will all, this is not permanent. You think this is permanent, but it's not permanent. It's gonna, yeah.
No, and it is, yeah, there are two ways I can see that because I mean, Holy Trinity is an absolutely beautiful church. So people do walk in and say, wow. Um, but it's interesting if I told them that it might not be there forever. I mean, it's horrified. Well, it's just a building. Yeah, I mean, it is a beautiful building, but it's not the
Yes.
only beautiful
And
building.
St Margaret's likewise. It's a very
Yeah,
ancient building.
absolutely.
It's a beautiful building.
There's no reason why
This is
it should have to stand forever. Um, uh,
Yeah, and then we
so
come on. Yeah,
yeah,
we come on
people
to
are
other
very
interesting
attached to
conversations.
the buildings, and it's interesting that they were then as well, even in the beautiful buildings and things that happened.
Yes, but it's also what the building symbolizes as well, isn't it? And it might be what, that, I mean, certainly in Jesus' day, the temple symbolized God's presence, God's commitment to the nation, to Israel.
Yeah. Yes, and
So for
it's
Jesus
yeah.
to say it's going to be torn down,
Actually, as I say that, we shouldn't fall into the danger of comparing the temple to a church either, because the temple was something much more
no,
significant than a church
no, that's
building,
right.
much more significant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, but I was
yeah.
kind of going for beauty rather than
No, no, I think
significance
they're
there.
all, it's all a valid,
Mm,
it's all interesting
mm,
things to reflect on, isn't it? So it's going to be tough,
mm.
basically. It's a kind of, it's a sort of Churchillian kind of comfort, isn't it? We'll fight them on, it's going to be tough. We're going to steel ourselves
We'll
for
fight them
it.
on the pews.
We'll fight them on the pews, yeah.
Um, yeah, it is. I think it already is tough for a lot of people. I don't know that it's going to be tough. I think this is now.
Mm,
Um, but I think the overriding message I would take from it is none of it matters. None of this
mm,
matters.
mm.
In the long run,
But how we
sort of,
live matters, right? Doesn't mean say how we live matters, yeah.
yeah, but I kind of, yes, but it doesn't really say anything about how we live. It's talking about the beauty of buildings and things that might happen to us.
Yes. And not to be
And I would
alarmed, and
say,
not to be.
don't be alarmed. It might be horrible now, but none of it really matters. If they take rumors about you, it doesn't matter. And isn't that
So
this?
let's be fair,
Can I
Jenny.
quote Tom
Easy to
Hanks?
say, hard to do, right? You can
Can I
quote Tom
quote Tom
Hanks.
Hanks?
Forrest Gump.
This too
Was
shall
this a Forrest Gump
pass.
quote? Oh,
No, no,
okay.
no. Actually, Tom Hanks. His
Oh,
motto
okay.
for life is "This too shall
Oh,
pass." If
okay.
life is going well, this too shall pass. If life is
Yeah.
going badly, this too shall pass.
Yes.
Mm.
But with a hope within that of that
Mm.
Christ has got this, that
Oh
It
yeah,
really
we've
is
got
going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end, to quote another film.
Best exotic marigold hotel.
I mean, let's go for it. Why couldn't we do that? You got the mug.
Quality. I haven't got the mug today. I've got the red one.
No, no, I know. We got the mug in the cupboard. Actually, it's not been an interesting opening line, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
It's actually an interesting opening line to take that if because it's there's always more to
Yes.
happen. It's not the end, but there will be the end, and then it will be okay. It's the kind of the Christian take on that on the best exotic Marigold
So
Hotel.
so just to make that clear for everyone, it's the best exotic marigold the best exotic marigold hotel, and the quote is, "It'll be all right in the end, and if it's not all right, it's not the end." And we live by that,
That's
don't
not the
we?
quote. That's not the quote. It's got the word okay in it.
Well,
Anyway,
what did
look
I
it up.
say?
You said if it's not all right. It is basically the quote. It was pretty
Oh.
close. Yeah, look it up if you need to. But yeah, I guess there's a really interesting, that actually in a way is a kind of, could it be even an encapsulation of this? It is gonna be okay in the end. It's gonna be bumpy on the way. Don't be surprised that it's bumpy now. And let's face it, it is bumpy now. It is bumpy,
Mhm.
and those things that we
And
pass
I
security.
think, to be honest, we could wrap it up there. That's basic. That is the basic message of it,
That's
isn't
the
it?
basic message, isn't it? That's the basic message. So anyway, all the best if you're looking at that this weekend. We've got a gift day in St Margaret's on Sunday, so I'm working out what I'm going to do within that and preaching and stuff. But and you're not preaching anyway, but
I'm
we
not
will
preaching
be
this
back
week.
next week to
Mm.
continue looking at some more passages together. So thank you so much for listening. And remember, I can't remember what the phrase is now. If it's not okay, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. There we are. That's our thought for the day.
Thanks all. Bye bye.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.